Hello. Welcome back to another episode of Boys Gone Wild. Hello.
Hello.
Opening with a hello. Hello is a different to hello.
You mostly do hello. I think in comparison to hello, you do hello.
What, me personally?
Yeah.
No, I
You
don't
go
go hello. Hello.
You go hello.
Hello.
Yeah, if you're like, you don't do it to like a lawyer. You know when you're talking to lawyers. You don't do it to like a estate agent.
Hello.
You're a hello guy.
Hello. Yeah,
You're a helloer. Which I think is fine.
Hello.
I don't think it's a bad thing.
Hello. What do you say?
Hiya.
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 Yeah.
Because, hello, if you say hello, you're like above 40 or AI, right?
Hello.
Hello. No one says
got
hello in
something to hide.
person. Hello.
You're an alien who's just landed down trying to pretend you're human.
It's like, hello.
Hello.
Or even, I don't even answer the phone with hello anymore. I do a hiya.
You're right.
That's bold.
What's going on? Yep.
How's it hanging?
I go speaking. Ghoul speaking. Wait, do I say I speaking?
You can't just go speaking.
My uncle, he doesn't understand how to do phone calls still, so he will call up and he'll wait, and then you go hello, and then he goes hello, hello.
Who called who?
He calls me.
He called.
Or anyone. Does this to everyone?
Yeah.
Silence.
So does he think you're not at the other end of the phone?
No. And then you say hello, and he goes hello, and then you
you
go
have to
hello, and he
go-
goes hi, and then you ask him what he wants, and then he'll tell you.
So that doesn't sound like he doesn't understand phone calls. That doesn't understand.
I don't know. I think that like etiquette of starting a phone call is a big part of it.
But it's fairly basic.
If you call up,
But if I walk
when
into
someone
a shop,
answers-
if I walk into a shop and I say hello, and they say hello,
no,
and then I'm in silence.
No.
That's the same thing as calling someone.
No,
Walking into their
It's walking into a shop, but you're not saying anything. The shop's a bad example.
right.
It'd be more walking into the shopkeeper's house.
You've called them.
No, it's more.
He calls you.
It's the shopkeeper lives above the shop.
Yeah.
You've walked into the shop. You've gone behind the counter.
But he knows the
and
guy. They know the shopkeeper. That's important. He's not breaking and entering. That's important because he knows you. He's not cold calling you.
Yeah, but you basically never visit.
That's fine.
And you haven't told him you're visiting.
He's fine. So
and you're in his living room.
Yeah.
And you're not saying anything. And then he goes hi, and you go hi.
Wait. So he calls you.
Calls. Yeah.
I go.
Silence.
Let's just try it. I'm you.
Yeah.
I'm you. Hello.
No. Oh, I guess you would say
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Yeah.
So hold on. Let's try. Ring. Hello.
Hi.
Can I help you?
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that's like going into a shop. Okay, fine. We could do this. The guy lives above the shop, goes up to the top.
Yeah.
Lets himself in.
Yeah, I guess so.
You go hello, and he goes hi. Anyway, it's strange.
I'm on ADHD meds. Well, on a smaller dose. I've been using my friend Sam's ADHD meds. And yeah, I guess I'm biohacking. Is that what that is?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm wearing contact lenses as well. So I think I'm gonna go down a more like.
Do you feel like you're in Limitless?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, I guess like the ADHD drugs, I'm using them very tactically to get like chunks of work done.
Yeah.
But I guess part of me
Do
is
they
maybe a
work?
little. No, they're good. They're good. If I got 4 hours of writing, it makes me slightly better. So it's worth it. I guess there's a disappointment because you sort of project a lot of issues you have that will be solved with a pill, and I guess there's a disappointment, you know.
If you can't blame the ADHD anymore, what's there left to blame?
I guess I thought I was going to be in Limitless.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, I guess.
Which is a hilarious film. I don't know how it hasn't been memed up on TikTok because there's just something. It's so funny, just the idea. It's such a funny there's a male fantasy element as well. But I just love the idea of just like taking a pill and you're killing every conversation. You're writing a novel.
Charismatic.
Yeah, you're shagging.
And you become as good looking as Bradley Cooper is.
Yeah, you're Bradley Cooper.
He's just like, because they do that thing when he's got a ponytail and like a baggy t-shirt, and then he becomes smart and he's suddenly wearing stiff collar shirts.
Yeah, and I'd love to do the thing. You know, when you're just owning people in conversation.
What, like putting them down?
Yeah, like he did that thing where he spotted a car
like in
crash.
Good Will Hunting.
Yeah, and he spotted a car crash before it happened. He didn't even look at it.
Right, yeah. Is that owning someone in the conversation, or is that predicting the future?
No, because in the conversation it was at the end when he was talking to Robert De Niro, and he was basically showing, "I'm so much smarter than you'll ever be." Right. This car's going at 70 miles an hour and it's not about to brake,
So
and then it
dumb.
crashes.
So dumb. So dumb. It was lucky there was a car crash because it's not as exciting.
Well, Limitless and the BBC Sherlock, they both fall into the kind of presentations of intelligence, almost in quite a dumb way. I think the dumbest way. Yeah, there's nothing funnier than like the smartness. A film about smartness is
because
hilarious.
someone who's not that smart has to write it. Someone who's not as smart as Sherlock Holmes has to write Sherlock Holmes.
Good Will Hunting is probably in that genre as well.
Yeah. Well, Good Will Hunting, at least. Good Will Hunting makes no sense whatsoever. I know that guy has... Who is it that has the bit on him? Louis C.K. But it's the specificity of his knowledge. I'm like, so does he... It's like his knowledge has mostly just been like incredibly well read, right?
Yeah.
But then like he's talking, because when he goes and like shits on the guy from Harvard or wherever he was from, he's like, he knows the specific courses that Harvard do, and is like, knows that they'll teach them this, teach them that. I was like, no, that's not knowledge you can gain from like reading this book.
Well, I guess maybe there's some deleted scenes cut out of him at the library.
Of him at the library, like, I guess, listening to it.
You know, you don't know what was on the cutting room floor.
I guess
there could have been...
Well, hopefully there was a lot. Because
a big montage of him studying, reading.
It's a bold way to defend a film, being like, you don't know what was collected.
Well, he's like a real-life Cat Williams, right? Well, Cat Williams is real.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he's not a real-life Cat Williams. He's a
fake life. He's a fake life Cat Williams.
So stupid.
Yeah.
Well, maybe this Limitless drug isn't working.
Yeah, true. No, but I know what you mean, because
he's
Cat
a real-life Cat Williams.
What you mean is because it's so obvious Cat Williams is lying.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, the character is true. Yeah, exactly. The character is more realistic than Cat Williams.
Did Cat Williams watch Good Will Hunting? And,
maybe. Yeah.
Well, you'd have to do that to be Good Will.
Read how many books?
I think there's 8,000 books.
So he said
over the space of like 7 years.
I think he said 4 a day.
No, it's more than that. It probably comes up to more of that, 6 a day. Favorite book: Winston Churchill's autobiography. Because you can find out more when he listens to his Maron podcast. He gets a bit. There's less bravado. You get a bit more under the surface. So he teaches more
Winston
the details.
Churchill's autobiography. I remember when
we
were young.
It's certainly a lie he tells a lot.
When we were young, and we had our first history class together. One of our teachers came round and he said, he didn't come round and ask just us, that would be insane. He asked the class, if you could have a dinner party with anyone from history, who would it be? And eventually he banned the answer Winston Churchill.
Really?
Because no one would when you're a fucking dumb 13-year-old kid, you don't really know much about history, you don't care, you just Winston Churchill.
Was I in this class?
Yeah.
Do you remember who we said?
You said Winston
No,
Churchill.
I didn't.
You went, hand up, you went, I've got this Winston Churchill. Yeah, Napoleon, Winston Churchill, and I don't know.
Who would you pick? Well, obviously Jay-Z.
Jay-Z, Mariah Carey, and the Backstreet Boys.
Yeah, I guess you'd probably want to solve, I'd probably get... No, Madeline McCann you wouldn't want to get.
Excuse me? Where the fuck did that come from?
Well, you wouldn't want to get Madeline McCann because...
What do you mean? That's not... Well...
Because if she's alive...
Yeah, then she's not a historical figure. So that... Ooh, sounds like you know something that the police don't. Madeline McCann.
Well, what about this?
Gotcha.
What about this?
The police gotcha.
No, what you do is go... So, who's asking you this? Is it a genie?
Mr. Schofield.
I mean, no, this is... If this happens, it's going to happen. So you get the choice.
If this happens, it's going to happen.
You get the choice to have dinner with these 3 people.
I think you're making less sense on these pills because I've been struggling to understand a word at times. I don't know if I thought it was me, but...
Dinner with historical figures, right?
Right, yeah.
You're getting an option from a genie.
Right.
And if you...
So this is the situation. It's not hypothetical, it's... Right.
I would start with Madeline McCann and then I'd go like this. Because then they have to tell me if he's...
You go like what?
I'd go like this.
To who? The genie or McCann?
To the genie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he'll go... And then from the reaction...
Because if they're historical, then I can... And if he goes, well, they're still alive.
In fairness, you don't need to go like this at all because
Why not?
You're creeping me out. This Limitless thing isn't flying with me at all.
You just don't like that I've
and
unlocked...
that's the thing because Madeline is there. You've unlocked nonsense.
You don't need to go
like
of my brain.
You don't need to go like there. You're not going to get any hints from the genie. The genie's either going to be like, yeah, sure, here she is, or be like, well, she's not a historical figure. It's not going to be a wink thing. She can either go yes or no.
It's more you're leaning in because you're going to find out if she's alive or not.
Oh, so you've just added a stage description?
Yeah. What are you? Are you
didn't think it was necessary to add a stage description.
What, are you just chilling out?
Where have I found this genie?
Madeline McCann, whatever. Oh, she's still alive, whatever.
This is at the point of which we're arranging the invite list. The dinner party comes far later.
The reason why I lean in with my eyebrow raised is because I reckon the genie will be pissed off because... You're not really meant to be able to use this to do that, right?
It's kind
of like he'll be running through the terms and conditions in his head, and he'll be like, "What are the rules?"
What are those things called? Why are we so fucking
Genies.
thick? Anyway, I'm sorry, you're not thick.
Genius, no.
The thing.
Speak for yourself.
That thing. What's that? Like not a catch. Go to your mind palace. when it's like James Acaster talks about it a lot in that stand-up. It's one of those. You found a loophole.
Loophole.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that is thick.
That is thick,
You need
isn't
some
it?
of my pills, man.
I do. Yeah. I wonder what would happen if I took them. Because I'm not ADHD at all.
It'd feel like a caffeine pill, basically.
Okay, yeah.
It'd be very speedy.
It's not very fun.
It's not fun at all.
Who would you? Let's not do that. Actually,
Go on.
And who would your three historical figures be?
That's what I mean. I'd use it to try and solve crimes and stuff.
Yeah, so then you could come back from the cave and say that, by the way, McCann's alive because Aladdin told me. Not Aladdin, the genie told me.
Where is she?
Not at my dinner party.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, if I found out she's still alive, I've done my job.
So the reason why you want to know if Madeleine McCann is alive or not is so you can know.
Yeah.
So if you find out she's alive, there's a chance of saving her, reuniting her with her family.
I'm just saying I've done more for the operation than arguably anyone.
I would argue you've done less for the operation.
Finding out she's still alive?
Yeah, because you've got authoritative information from a genie.
Admittedly, it's a hard sell.
It's a hard sell. So if anything, you can either. The problem is you can go.
I'd have to
you
find
have two
her.
choices. You can go. You'd have to find her.
Red pill or blue pill?
That's your moral obligation.
Is that my red pill or blue pill?
Find her or don't.
Well, we'll just spend your life.
Look, because if you go and say,
"There's my red ADHD pill or my blue
ADHD pill," they both do the same thing.
Just different
They
colours.
both make you slightly more manic.
But it's placebo effect, isn't it?
Yeah. So
The red one.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever. That's enough. So there's an announcement.
Yeah.
I'm sure you might have seen the news,
Yeah.
but I'm sure you haven't because you don't follow this as closely as I do. There's some pretty big news for the podcast in general.
Oh fuck! No, I have seen this. I reckon.
Yeah. So there's a new reality TV show.
Yeah.
There's a new reality TV show coming out about America's favorite family.
Yeah.
Certainly, Boys Gone Wild's favorite family.
Yeah, it's keeping up with the
Baldwins. On TLC. This isn't a joke.
Yeah.
This is 100%. He's just released it on his Instagram. He's just released a reel that he is going to be doing a reality TV show on TLC akin to Keeping Up the Kardashians.
Yeah. And to be honest, let's be real, I did feel the Baldwin news was flagging a bit.
Yeah,
it was same old.
No, because the Russ trial is yet
Gate
to...
happened ages ago.
Yeah, now the armour is locked up. We've got justice.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't know when... Well, the thing is, and the question on everyone's lips is and it won't, I'm sure, but...
Yeah.
Is it going to cover the court case?
Is it going to be in Spanish with English subtitles?
Of course.
Is it going to be up for the
Hilaria
Latin?
Hilaria will be speaking in English, but in a Spanish accent with English subtitles. That's how it will go, when everyone can clearly understand what she's saying. But the question on everyone's lips is, will the trial be covered? He's got a trial coming up for murder. If the trial's covered, then that is going to be the greatest reality TV show I have ever seen in my life, and I can't wait for it. I can't wait for it anyway. I've never, ever in my life, well, when I was younger, I used to love Geordie Shore. Yeah. But other than, since I've turned 16, I've never looked forward to a reality TV show coming out.
It's going to be great.
This is it. Yeah. I don't know if we can access it in the UK, but...
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to find ways to stream it, or maybe, we'll get like a screener, because it's important.
We could host a screening of the premiere.
Yeah. Because you got Alec, obviously.
Sure.
You got Hilaria. You got Stephen.
Now, I'm not sure how much the brothers are going to get.
Stephen Baldwin.
Yeah.
Well, in the Kardashians, a lot of the external founders, you see them occasionally.
Yeah, you to see Kanye every now
and I wouldn't mind seeing Stephen every now and again.
Oh, 100%.
Because I don't know much about Stephen. That's why Stephen's funny.
Yeah. He's done a few things.
The funniest thing about Stephen is that he's not Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, that's true.
Isn't that
true for all of the siblings?
No, because the other ones aren't actors.
There's another actor in there.
Yeah, it's a fact that it's like...
But he's another actor. There's three actors.
He was in Usual Suspects.
Who?
Stephen Baldwin.
Yeah, I know, but there's another one who acts.
Is there?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
And the funniest thing about them, other than they're not Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, it's true.
Then you got Bieber's wife. What's her name?
That's Alec Baldwin's daughter.
No, it's Stephen Baldwin's daughter. But I'm sure... it is quite a dynasty, Baldwin.
Jesus Christ! I didn't even realize that was that Baldwin.
But then the kids are so young. Think of the Gruffalo pick. Think about how young the kids are.
The Gruffalo pick.
Young...
exactly. Did you not see the video?
So I guess
he's got like 8 kids, and they're all really young.
So I guess he's sort of the Kris Jenner of the operation in many ways.
Well, I think that's more Hilaria.
Oh, so this is going to be...
I think he's
this
more
is
of
one
Kanye.
for the girls, because I guess Alex got...
She seemed to be kind of taking the front a bit. Wait, there's a William. Yeah, William Baldwin is also an actor.
So because they're so it looks a lot like Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, they all look exactly the same. Yeah. That's the thing. When you have loads of brothers who are all famous, they all look exactly the same. They all look more like brothers than anyone else looks like brothers. But yeah.
So I guess because they're so young, it means they have a real long-term vision in mind.
Yeah.
And if you think about, in many ways, the Kardashians obviously came out from the sex tape.
Yeah.
But you could argue came out from the OJ trial with Rob Kardashian. That's kind of where the beginning of the fame.
Are we seeing the next true American dynasty
coming out of a trial,
of a tragedy?
Yeah, which is the people versus Alec Baldwin, the people versus OJ. Like that's going to be the next.
So it's actually what's the important people to look at are the Baldwin's children, because they're going to be the biggest names on the planet after this dynasty.
We'll see. We hope so. I mean, we'll certainly be pushing it. We'll be pushing it a lot.
Absolutely.
We're trying to make that grow a lot. And if they're anything like their parents, because they've got great. Alec and Hilaria have given a lot of value.
They've given a lot out
So you'd assume that they'd raise kids with at least some new Baldwins.
I think so too. But
do you see a trailer or was it just...
Well, it was just them. It looked really budget and quite bad, but it was a one-off announcement, and they were having fun with it. It was a real like... Yeah. Welcome to the madhouse. and being like, we're ready to like welcome America into our lives. It was like, when two people have had the biggest crashes in PR possible, as in no one really knew Hilaria, and then she got absolutely roped online for speaking in a Spanish accent.
But then
Alec murdered a man.
Yeah,
a woman.
Well. So that means there's a lot more camera people coming into Alec Baldwin's house, which is an interesting turn of events.
Yeah.
Arguably, he's going to have more cameras on him than he's ever had, consistently.
Yeah. Well, unless he's on a film set, you know.
Yeah, and it feels counterintuitive.
Why?
Well, because he shot a camera woman, and now there's more.
Do you think half of it's going to be like?
Well, I guess they're all queuing up now to be
shot.
No, to film him, and it's like, or maybe it's the thrill of the.
So you're scared of a repeat?
Well, obviously,
we're Baldwin troopers.
Well, I'm excited for a repeat. I'm sorry to say.
You're excited for another murder?
No, sadly, if Alec Baldwin accidentally kills another person, it would be the funniest thing. It would be one of the funniest things that's ever happened.
As two of the head
Baldwin... Because it's fooled me once.
Shame on you.
Shame on me. I'd actually believe that. Or maybe, I don't know. Because we're Baldwin truthers, but if he happens again, then
if it does it again,
it feels like there's...
We would have to flip.
We'd have to look at that as gross negligence. If that happens twice.
Yeah, gross negligence, or he's doing...
Because it's a freak accident.
At that point, I think he's doing it on purpose.
Yeah, he has to.
I mean, a third time, 100%, he's doing this on purpose.
But
how many times does that happen?
He's going to have more targets than ever.
Yeah.
He's in his house at all times, you know?
It's a risky game.
Yeah. I guess he does hate guns, technically. So he's very anti-guns.
I'm sure there isn't a gun in the house.
But I guess it's more like killing any of them in any way.
How can you
pushing
kill
them down the stairs?
Yeah.
Chucking a knife at them.
Yeah, I was chucking a knife at them.
Well,
that's
if he's
getting
doing
less.
If he's like, welcome to the madhouse. Yeah. And then if it's an accident again.
I think that's gross negligence. You can't throw knives around.
Well, if the armourer said it was a plastic knife.
That's true. Then there should be an armourer for keeping up with the Baldwins.
Yeah, and the armourer is from Trainspotting.
And she's on meth.
She's heroin.
all the time. Just constantly. Needle hanging out there. Yeah, that's the fake one. Give it a throw. Just throw it right at the camera. Yeah, there you go. Well, it's exciting. It's clearly a move to bolster some PR in some pretty dark times, and I'm here for it because, to be honest,
do you think it wouldn't have happened without the
1,000%?
Really,
Baldwin looks.
I don't know if this was in
every video outside of a film or SNL. He looks absolutely knackered. The guy's done with.
He's got the Ben Affleck look.
He does have the Ben Affleck,
and
look.
He murdered someone, and Ben Affleck just has to listen to J-Lo.
So,
it is interesting. Because that's all Ben Affleck had. I mean, there is something absolutely awesome about Ben Affleck's constantly being miserable and just like having the worst time ever with his gorgeous wife.
Successful career.
Yeah.
But if you look at Baldwin, there's a haggardness which is fair. You know, he's getting on, and part of that is he's got I think it was 7. I just read 7 kids under the age of 12. That's not great.
That's a lot of kids under the age of 12.
Whilst you've got a murder trial hanging over you.
Yeah.
But then you can understand the Gruffalo a bit more, you know?
Yes, I guess it does give a precedence to the Gruffalo saying it's like it shows his approach to it is more like let's try and make it seem as normal as possible.
Well, at the same time, he's got 7 kids to look after. Yeah. Just because you accidentally kill someone doesn't mean the Gruffalo. The kids are waiting for the Gruffalo. Daddy, what are you gonna do?
I think he'd be a good dad, Alec Baldwin. I wouldn't mind in my head, like that's a good dad. Like, or at least play my dad.
There was
like you'd want Alec Baldwin to play your dad almost.
Yeah, 100%.
You know.
Yeah, no, he's definitely.
I wouldn't want Alec Baldwin.
Well, he's
to
a
play
dad in loads of films.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd want him to be my son.
No.
Do you know what I mean? He's a dad. He feels
I would
like
far prefer my dad to have murdered someone than my son, without a doubt.
But I mean, it's more like the way he looks. So he's got this kind of like teddy bear.
Yeah.
Where he's sort of like
Puffy.
He's handsome, but he's sort of
it's like
fat. He's fat all over.
But he's fat muscly.
Yeah, but he's like he does distribution of fat is completely perfect all over him. It's all it's like he's been blown up. It's like he's outside a car dealership, one of those blow up things.
Yeah, but fatter.
Yeah, and that's what you want for a dad. You don't want that for a son.
You want. I think if you were to poke his body, it would be firm.
Yes. Yeah, I guess so.
And from a son, if you wanted to poke him, and it'd be wobbly.
Yeah, maybe. Even though I can see him. He's like I can see him in like as like an animal, like a little bear living in a burrow with.
He's got like a Greek man body. He's built like one of those Greek men.
Yeah,
you see
I guess
walking
so.
around
Like a Greek strongman.
Smuggler. Yeah.
Throwing a discus.
Yeah, throwing a discus. Maybe. Yeah, he's one of those guys.
But keep your eyes peeled. Keep it up with the Baldwins is coming soon. Do you want to talk about your anniversary?
Yeah, we could do the anniversary.
Yeah.
Well, it happened.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Yeah, well, I mean, we ran into each other straight afterwards.
We did, yes. Well, so
how was Las Iguanas?
So it all kicked off with the bottomless brunch at Las Iguanas in Westfield, London, which is a shopping centre.
Yeah,
which isn't exactly glamorous, but it was the only bottomless brunch available.
Yeah.
So we went there and. It was a strange start because it's in the bright fluorescent lights of a shopping centre.
Yeah.
It's not the lighting you think of on your anniversary, is it?
No.
But it was amusing.
Did you have any cocktails? Do you have any blue cocktails?
No, I didn't.
No.
It was mostly pink bubbles.
Sure.
But we got there and it looked closed because obviously who is doing a bottomless brunch on a Thursday in Westfields at Las Iguanas? Paedophiles and their victims. That's actually one of the only public spaces they could go out during that time.
And it's not frowned upon.
It's not frowned upon at all.
Well, it's sort of like, when you have special screenings
Asterix
for people...
paedophiles welcome.
Well, yeah, we're like special screenings for people who are like, have autism.
Yeah.
You have,
or like audio description films.
Yeah.
That's the Las Iguanas bottomless brunch.
Well, there's ones where you're allowed to like scream and shout.
Yeah.
Or leave
whenever.
That's what Las Iguanas
There's like dog versions now. You can bring dogs into films. It's like pet friendly.
Well, Las Iguanas, they have a happy hour, then they have a nonce hour. They have like where you can
we accidentally sunk up with a nonce hour, so we got a lot of bad looks with nonces in there.
What? Because they were like, you're age appropriate.
Yeah. It's like, Jesus. Because in their community, we're the pariahs.
Yes. Yeah.
So interesting to see that. No, we went in and it was it looked closed.
Sure.
So, and it was, at first it was like, I think we've made a terrible mistake here because it looked like it's not the best way to kick off an anniversary, as you can imagine. But the vibes were high and we pushed through and then eventually someone did come and we got seated. And then the service was excellent because we were the only ones there.
That's nice.
And then, drinks, fine, all good. And then just
Did you get rat-arsed?
Not yet. Well, slowly it started filling up, and it was just families, and it was like suddenly there was just like buggies everywhere because it was families that had gone out to do their shop and then stopped for lunch, and then we were there like pretending to eat a taco whilst having like several bottles of pink prosecco. Yeah, got pretty sloshed up. Then it was time for the escape room, which was a bit of a revelation to me. It was one of those things where I was like, I'm glad I'm getting really drunk for it. Because if not, I'm sure I'd start an argument on my first one.
Okay.
I'd get too competitive.
This is you going into it.
This is me going into it. I was like, well, I've always thought about doing it or whatever, but I'd think I'd be like too competitive and into it that I'd get frustrated with the person I was doing it with. Or be like, no, just come on, come on. Not caring is a good thing to go into an escape room with. To be honest, full stop. It shouldn't take alcohol to not care about how you do in an escape room. But so I kind of went in there, and then that obviously washed over me immediately. I was like, well, we have to win this. We have to win this immediately.
What do you mean win?
Do it really well.
Is there like a leaderboard?
No. But like, you know what I mean? Winning mentality.
Sure.
Never stop believing.
Yeah.
So we had a spy one, and annoyingly, escape rooms are a little bit like Hitman.
Oh yeah.
In that the clues are so specific to a certain narrative that unless you like happen to find something, you're gonna have to get some clues from the guy.
You're gonna have to steal the man's uniform.
Exactly. It was like, well, and then just end up stealing different people's uniforms.
Do you want to explain what Hitman is to the folks at home? Hitman's a game we both play, actually.
Yeah,
which
I haven't for a while.
We both agreed is too hard.
It's far too hard.
Like most games.
Far too hard.
And it's kind of, even though, I mean, I only played like the latest Hitman, even though they've like, there's great graphics, great gameplay, so it looks pretty legit.
Yeah.
Almost realistic. It's the kind of the logic of the world.
The logic of the
ridiculous.
world is obscene.
So you're sort of, you got a target to kill who's sort of, it'll normally be in like, it'll be like a fashion show in like a mansion.
Did you play that one?
Yeah.
So yeah, you played the first Hitman.
Oh, is that the first one?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, we
yeah.
played the same one then.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah, we have. That's cool.
You have like a map where there's like a big event on, where there's obviously lots of different hierarchies of people.
Yeah.
You know, you'll have the wait staff, you'll have the chefs,
but it allows you to get into different areas.
You also have like Giovanni
dos Santos,
who's
the
like one
premier
of those
Italian designer at the time. Yeah. And then there's a model who looks coincidentally like you. Did you see that? Because I did that one. But then
they only use that once, which is like, that makes sense. Where like an entirely bald man with a barcode
on the back of his head.
Yeah.
As soon as I put it on, I was like, well, hopefully he's got a hat or something. I was like, no, he's got a barcode on the back of his head. Because everyone's like, hey, Luciano. And then he walks past and he's like,
killing all these people.
Why has he got the barcode?
It's that bald man with the barcode on the back of his head.
He's got a barcode on the... Does anyone else see the guy with the barcode on the back of his head? The irony is no disguise covers the barcode. No. And also no disguise could stop someone from recognizing and remembering the guy with a barcode on the back of his head. But part of the problem is, it's like, oh, so you go in and you've got intel and it's like, there's a guy who looks like you, and he will give you, and he's friends with the person that you want to kill. You're like, well, great. But so you can't just be that guy. You have to get into his uniform. So you have to kill him. Fine. But then on your way there, you've got to...
Do you kill... Yeah, I guess
you've got to kill him.
Because you go like...
You can maim them, but then they're just going to wake up later.
Yeah, they will, yeah.
Which is what... And then it gives you the option to be moral in this world. I'm like, why would I be moral?
Yeah.
Like, kill him. He's in the river.
Do I kill... Yeah, I guess I kill him.
But the problem is...
if I like knock them out, I always put them in like a laundry basket.
Yeah, you got to put them in a laundry basket. And there's always a laundry basket nearby. And if the entirety of that country's police are after you, they'll never find you in a laundry basket.
No.
And you can even be peeking up. We've done this bit before.
We haven't.
Yeah, we have.
No, we haven't.
We have, I'm sure.
No, we did it off air.
About the peeking up?
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
We talked about this off air.
Confusing.
Yeah.
What a weird life. So even if you peek up, they won't see it. But the problem with the game is that, this person looks like this. But then you get to like this point and it's like, well, you need this specific poison that you should have picked up in the in the laundry room 3 days ago. I'm like, well, you haven't got a spanner? Pfft, good luck.
Yeah.
Well, why would I?
Yeah.
How do I know?
I've killed 8.
I've
harmless weight stuff.
And I'm back to the same disguise as I was when I started 2 days ago. It's a fucking nightmare.
It's great when you steal their disguise and then they're in like a vest and pants. And
always the same underwear. Weird, suspicious.
But it more, as a game, is a rumination on power hierarchies and how power distributes in modern society. It does really make you think about what a tiered world we're living in, and also about public and private space. Do you not feel that?
Yeah. Well, it's a question of
that you're allowed in and you're in a space you're not allowed.
It's a question of appropriacy. It's like, I am the same person, but if I step behind the deli counter, if I'm wearing a suit, what are you doing behind the deli counter?
Yeah.
If I'm wearing the butcher's uniform, hello, can I have some meat, please?
Well, a lot of
that's how delis
transgender discourse is a lot about performance, gender performativity, and I think this actually...
So if you
understand,
think, so if anything,
I guess we're all performing, right?
Absolutely.
Like, what are we performing as? And that's my shirt. That's good that it's got a second life.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
I'm performing Horatio Gould.
Exactly. I'm performing kind of
ready to go to war, but also casual.
I guess so. It's sort of like a cartoon.
It's a bit childlike. Yeah.
It's a 9-year-old in a cartoon.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, an umbrella hat wouldn't.
So
wouldn't
what you're saying is you understood the plight of trans people based on the Hitman game.
Well, I understood that we're all performing and that it's quite a fluid concept when you're knocking people out,
And the way in which we view people a lot of it is based on what they're wearing.
What hat they're wearing.
Yeah, mostly hats.
When we're like saying things are so rigid and it's like, where's your fishmonger hat? Oh, there it is.
There it is.
A fishmonger.
Sorry, I will take the soul.
Admittedly, if your fishmonger's in a tuxedo...
I'd be like, either you're the best fishmonger in the world, or
because that's like
because he sells so many fish that he can afford to wear a tuxedo.
Or if it's called like tuxedos. Tuxedos fishmonger.
Tuxedos fishmonger.
That's the angle they're trying to sell.
If I saw tuxedo, I'd have a lot of questions. Because then I'd walk in and I'd wonder initially, is the guy who runs this fishmonger or girl?
Yeah.
Is his
I
name?
have a lot of questions going when I see the sign.
That's what I'm saying. Oh no, but hold on.
But I have them answered immediately.
Well, exactly. But you didn't let me get there. I was saying if I saw tuxedos.
So my brain's moving so much faster than yours right now.
Oh fuck you! Vroom, 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 connecting dots. I know. I knew where I was going. You're connecting unnecessary dots. So if I walk past Tuxedo, I'll be like, is there a man called Tuxedo?
What, when all the staff are in tuxedos?
Tuxedos? Ooh. Where's the apostrophe?
It's not owned by a man called Tuxedo.
Well, there you go. It depends. Where's the apostrophe?
At the end, very end.
No, there should be. It's either Tuxedo's fishmonger or just Tuxedo apostrophe
so
S.
no apostrophe.
No apostrophe. Then I wouldn't have any questions.
Yeah.
Because then it means it's just like a tuxedos,
Well, I guess if it had the apostrophe, whereas tuxedo owns the fishmonger, then you'd come in, and if you saw a man in a tuxedo and said,
"Are you tuxedo?"
and they went, "Yeah,"
I'd be like, "Right." Then I'd say, "Are you
if
called?"
they were like, "Yeah."
So there's a few different options here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah,
I'd be like, "Well, you're
speaking to you like you're the biggest idiot." Yeah.
Oh, it's obvious.
Well, I'm wearing a tuxedo.
Is your name?
It says Tuxedo's Fish Bar.
Yeah.
And I'm behind the counter. Yeah, I'm called Tuxedo.
Well, my.
I
there's
think
only one of
like
you.
that.
There's only one of you in the shop,
Yeah.
and I don't know if that's just your uniform.
Yeah.
Because it could be.
Are you going to buy any fish?
Maybe. It depends on the answer to
it
depends on your answer to these next questions. I thought that because I can see one of you, maybe someone else is going to come out wearing a tuxedo. That's just the uniform of this fishmongers.
Well, my dad's called Tuxedo as well.
So you're not tuxedo.
Well,
Did you open the fishmongers, sir?
Our surname's Tuxedo.
I'll have my salmon for free.
Free?
For free, because I've ousted you
No,
in a duel of wit.
You can't have it for free. You can have a third off.
Fine. What, off the salmon or off the price? See you next week. Like a third.
Yeah.
Like off the salmon.
No, the Tuxedo would be our surname, and it's a family dynasty. There's black and white pictures of my granddad,
right,
who moved over.
Then I think the tuxedo is wearing a tuxedo is overkill. It's overkill.
Well, what about having
aprons? Obviously.
What about lots of black and white photos of the Tuxedo family? And no matter where it is, we're always wearing tuxedos.
So my anniversary.
There's us on the fish trawler.
Always wear stretching back to what kind of year are we talking? 1912?
Yeah.
1912. But the further back in history you go, the more likely it is, or acceptable it seems, for those people to be wearing a tuxedo.
What, back to the Stone Ages? That's more acceptable.
That's true. Yes. Sorry, I thought there was an implied cut-off of 1912. There was an implied cut-off of 1912. You're being facetious. That you're taking facetious pills.
Facetious is next door. That's a dry cleaners.
Facetious is dry cleaners. Tough costume, that one. Not really sure what they could get there. No, but the further back you go to 1912, the more you'd expect them to be wearing tuxedos.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if I went to a museum and I was looking at photos of fishmongers in the 1912s. I wouldn't be surprised if that. I wouldn't comment on the fact if they were wearing tuxedos.
So yeah, I guess there is that.
I wouldn't bring it up on this podcast.
There's that general observation that it feels like homeless guys in the 20s dress better than billionaires now, right?
Wow, powerful.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. We talked about this. You got the top hat with the flapping top,
right.
Well, and they're wearing like a blazer.
Magicians and tricksters and general knaves.
But they're wearing blazers and brogues and
like well, who's that guy from Fagin from Oliver Twist?
Yeah, well, you can be down your luck and still somehow be wearing a cummerbund.
Fagin from Oliver Twist is a homeless man who wears a top hat. Well, he has like a homeless child army. People should look into him.
But everyone back then is wearing a collared shirt.
Yeah.
Which is you only have to wear now to get into a fancy restaurant, or if you're working at a top law firm. Or back then,
you say some mental shit.
What? What do you mean?
You only have to wear a collared shirt.
Have to.
Yeah, have to. Yeah. If you want to get into a nice restaurant or a top law firm.
Yeah, something like that.
A wedding? Might be more
Yeah, I
a wedding,
guess so.
a job interview,
Yeah, sure,
an office job.
But
you
my
came up
point
with
still
a
stands.
restaurant and a top law firm. Question on the top law firm.
What if you're
Are you a
working there?
client or applying?
You work there.
You work there.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you're saying a posh job.
Yeah.
Fine, that's kind of fair.
Yeah.
A top law firm.
But I get that people did dress better back in the day, smarter. But if I saw a picture of a fishmonger on a trawler from the 1912s, with the big gloves, and he was wearing a tuxedo,
You'd go, hold on.
I'll go, hang on a minute.
That's the pills talking.
Yeah, maybe. What do you think?
I'm not as perceptive.
Is your
Little old donkey brains over here.
Are you thinking in the 1910s? Well, they all kind of wore blazers just to every day.
No. I'll tell you what it is. I wouldn't bat an eyelid.
Yeah.
I might bat one and go. Huh?
But I guess even
I wouldn't go. Hold on. If I saw a man in nowadays wearing a tuxedo and fishmonger in, I'd go. That's something to see.
What's the least formal job back then?
Bin men.
It feels like bin men.
Wait,
then,
formal? What is that? Yeah,
formal.
Yeah.
I think
bin men.
A bin man back.
A noble profession.
A Victorian bin man probably would wear a blazer.
But isn't a blazer? No, maybe a jumpsuit.
I don't think they had jumpsuits.
Well, that's because the question is, it's actually like not that interesting when you think about it. I know we've been talking about it for the last 5 minutes.
I don't think I disagree. I think
because it's a different like understanding of what smartness is, and all they had was collared shirts. So of course they're going to wear collared shirts. Someone invented the t-shirts, and then that became casual. So there was a different spectrum of what was casual and what was smart back in the day, and we're judging it from ours, so it doesn't make any sense.
You think there's no there's nothing objective where you're. No. Society can get more or less smart.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Think of the medieval tavern. It wasn't as smart as the Victorian age.
And to you and yours. On the Victorian. Twiz and Twiz.
Similar to... Well, I guess we're smarter than the medieval tavern.
In terms of dress sense, right?
The rusty bike would be a smarter get-up than
I think you'd be surprised about medieval taverns.
No, because
it's not just men in potato sacks. Were you about to say potato sacks? Fucking great.
But I guess it's sort of filthy tunics, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
But then but also there was
but it's also smartness comes and goes.
Highwaymen aren't like, the worst dressed.
Well, there were always bandits, but your idea of the highwayman is Dick Turpin, right?
As it should be anyone's idea of the highwayman.
That's getting a bit later. That's Renaissance, right? So we
Renaissance?
That's like 1500, 1600. I feel that's nearer the English Civil War than anything.
Oh, we talk the Dark Ages.
Medievals, yeah, that's more like 1000s, 1100s. That's close to the Crusades.
Yeah, in the Dark Ages, I don't imagine taverns. I just imagine holes that they drank out of.
Yeah, that's what they called a tavern.
So that doesn't really...
The leaky hole.
Yes, I suppose you win. They were, we can't. That isn't,
rusty bike was still
isn't
there.
as smart as the
rusty bike used to be a rusty bike back in the day. Well, they'd had to have a bike.
So how would that work? They'd
have to invent a bike, so it wouldn't work at all. Anyway, how was
the estate room was great. there isn't like people are interested. Yeah. I would just as a review. This is more the review. Andrew reviews X different things. Yeah. We can make that a thing. I don't do much, so there's not much to review other than different pubs. But I had fun. It was really good. I would recommend.
You come round to escape rooms, and how was the? I asked last week what the person working there would be like, and were they? Was it like a paintball marshal?
No. Far softer. Yeah. It was. Hi.
Oh, really?
Hi, how you guys doing? You excited?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So, you're doing our spy package today, right? It should be, there's a couple of clues in there that you should find. Just have a good look around, yeah? But I'll be at the other end of the radio, okay? If you need anything,
Would he be a kind of person who would say wicked sincerely?
No, he's the kind of person who says, no, he doesn't use any slang.
No?
That man never used any slang in his life.
Okay.
Wicked is he's not wicked. He's more like quietly.
Oh, wicked shoes, man.
No, he's not that guy. He's wow, really good.
Okay, fine.
It's noteworthy how he's
one of the white guys from Get Out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not far off, yeah.
Sure.
No, he was soft and he was fun. Soft and fun.
He was soft, he was fun. He was bouncy, perky little nips.
You can't describe a stranger as soft and fun. Fun may be fine. Soft in itself fine, but soft and fun implies you had soft fun with him. Or hard fun with a soft man.
Yeah. Well, you were hard because he was so soft.
And we both had fun. It was one of those escape rooms.
Yeah.
No, it was really fun. I think it was tough because it's meant to be more than two people was the minimum. I had to go quite.
So it was harder than you thought it'd be.
No, I thought it was going to be hard because I'm not great at puzzle stuff.
Are you not?
A bit.
Yeah.
I got it at the end.
Yeah.
It started to get really fun. But the start, I was like, there's too much going on. I was like, you got to look around different stuff. You're meant to play that with probably like 6 people.
Is this room the size of an escape room? Was it bigger?
There were 3 different compartments to it.
Fine.
We went through a fridge.
Yeah.
But there was the second room, which was and he even commented on this because we were very pissed and we weren't. We had a pretty slow start. Then the fridge opened it. It was one of those line things, lasers, and we had to do different stuff. And we just fucking went for it. We were like on the floor, like doing this. And he said, "I've never seen 2 people get more into the laser room."
And did you avoid the lasers?
Yeah, we avoided the lasers.
That's
Although
amazing.
I think it would be sick.
Yeah.
However, I'm pretty sure I saw Elle touch a laser and nothing happened. Which then I'm like, I want some consequences to this. But I think when they work out, they can't do it for fat people, sorry, or tall people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It didn't say you've got to be like fairly slim and fit to do
it's
this.
lasers, right?
Yeah.
It's probably customizable to a certain degree.
So they just widen the load.
I just think, and that's what would be embarrassing. You walk in and then suddenly...
Well, you'd hope they do it before. If the lasers suddenly get...
Well, your friend goes ahead and then you go and it's just...
And all the lasers turn off other than one, and it's just cutting the room in
It just
half.
makes a shape of a really fat person.
Like a hole in the wall back in the day in the lycra suit.
But they also make you do that. But you also have to hold your hat to make it even more humiliating.
Running man. Yeah, but I think that's why. Because I don't think it was that. That's not that easy to do. But it's a good option. And then, it was fun at the end. And then he came out and he was like, how was it, guys? And there's the thing that I find fascinating about people that work those jobs do is that's the first time I've ever done an escape room, a completely unique experience.
Yeah.
Something I've never done before. And there's obviously an energy and a kind of, you're kind of jacked up after.
Yeah.
And you're jacked up through it. And he's on the mic, he's just watching us for the whole thing.
Adrenaline's pumping.
He's like, go, guy, you got it every day. Every fucking hour, he's doing the same thing. Just like, guys, you did it at the end, and he's got to be like that.
Yeah,
and
it's
I was
amazing.
like, yeah, we did badly. I was like, we did poorly. He was like, yeah, I don't think he was ready for my kind of overt honesty as soon as we came out. And I was like,
we talked about this before. Yeah, those sort of jobs.
yeah,
Where please comment below if you work a type of job like that. But it is, and how you feel. I guess tour guides. I know a lot of people who do tour guides. Is that the sort of the same? But it's just more having to have it. It makes you feel
Tour
sick.
guides,
Giving
there's
people
a
their
script.
first experience when you have it all the time.
Yeah, no,
I think
100%.
is kind of grim.
yeah, agreed. Because you have, it's that you have to get up on that level.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing as working customer service in
Yeah.
a way. It was like when I had to take calls. It was like you can't, and you're feeling the last thing you want to do is take a call from this person.
And that person, it's their first call.
And that person, they're like, wow. Yeah, how do I extend my overdraft? Tell me more. And I'm like, well, funny you asked.
While you were there, I was at a screening
Yes.
because B was in a film that she filmed like 2.5 years ago, basically never told me about. Said, I'll be here at this time. And didn't tell you dress code. In my head, I was like, because I didn't know what type of premiere it would be. I don't know if it would be like...
A Premier Inn.
Could be a premiere in. But I don't know if it was going to be like when we put our film on. Like, I literally had no idea. I barely knew anything about the film. I probably should have
the
asked.
address?
Yeah. It was
it a cinema?
It was at Curzon, right?
Ooh.
Curzon in Soho, right?
Ooh.
So it's a bit.
Yeah, okay.
So I wore all black because I know they're actors, right?
Yeah.
And actors love black. That's the thing you do with
Because
actors.
it looks like a stage.
Yeah, you look like a stagehand.
Exactly.
And if you were called to move a prop, you'd be best suited to because you're wearing black, right?
So that's why actors wear black?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think of it. Yeah.
But then I think you're confusing actors for stagehands. From what you just said. You're asking...
No, you are right.
Actors don't... Maybe the pill's wearing off.
You
Actors... oh, you're saying power. Go on. No, because I used to dress like a stagehand, so I know what I'm talking about. Do you remember? There was a period where I dressed... It was on the podcast. A period where I dressed like a backstage and kind of like...
Emo.
Well, no, not like that.
Yeah.
Just like more black, but like cargo trousers.
It's about
like
shape,
t-shirt.
and that's why actors wear it, I think, because actors like
Yes,
shape.
they like to maintain a slim figure.
It's a slim figure, but it's also they want to be projected onto, right?
Yes.
They want a blank canvas.
Yes, love it.
You know, when people who are wearing like, oh, I'm crazy, and I'm wearing really colourful trousers. You know,
Yeah.
you can't really.
Yeah.
I can't see you playing Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's
probably
true.
is.
And they want to keep their options open so they have a broad range.
Yeah, but then speaking to someone, they're at a fancy cocktail bar.
And you're like,
I
oh.
can be. Who do you want me to be?
You
I'm
could
an
be
actor.
anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So I dressed like that. But people, it was a bit smarter.
But they
than what I
mistook
was
you for a
wearing.
stagehand.
Yeah.
Asked you to move
I was
various
moving a lot
discs.
of stuff around.
Could you just?
Yeah, and it was actually what was really embarrassing. I don't know if I did great as the boyfriend of someone in the film. I got very pissed.
I think you're hit and miss, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm hit and miss. Sometimes I pull the stops out.
I think sometimes you'd hit hard.
I went out confidently.
Yeah.
But what was the bad setup? It's because I knew nothing about the film and I didn't know anyone there.
Yeah.
And BB was often doing like press junket type things, so I was with no.
How big was this film?
Not big, but there was
enough for press to be there.
Yeah, there was press, but then they'd cordoned off a corner of the bar that there was not enough room. So it was this tiny corner of the bar, but then part of it was like a picture, like we went to that TikTok thing and you had the red, you took the pictures there. Because that took up so much, never forget. Because that took up so much room, there was no room, we were all crammed in together.
Was it similar vibes to that TikTok event-ish?
It was film and it was art.
Right.
So it wasn't industry.
When I say I know that, I mean the look of the place.
No.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's a cousin. You've been to a cousin. Fancy cinema.
Yeah, I have.
It's not that TikTok was like an office.
Yeah.
It's, I guess
I know, but just that, like, I don't know.
What was really embarrassing is when I asked how long the film was, right? And then they said 19 minutes. I went 19 minutes. They said no, 90 minutes. Then I should have gone, yeah. Instead, I was like, oh, I thought it was a short film. And I was convinced it was a feature film. And that actually did completely change my mind. Because I was like, oh, this is just a short film. This is a bit of fun. If I'd known it was a feature film, maybe I would have worn a black cap.
Or, I was going to say, or a white shirt.
Well, maybe.
You're going to double down on the black.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess it's more mysterious to wear black.
And
black
why?
cap.
So is that's embarrassing? I suppose.
Yeah, it's more like
it shows that you know nothing about it, which is, I suppose, a bit rude when you've rocked up to a thing.
Yeah, I guess they've all got their partners there.
It's a big night for them, and you know nothing about it.
And it's more like a partner of one of the actors.
Yeah,
main
who doesn't have a Scooby. What's going on?
I thought I was there for a short film.
Yeah,
that's pretty bad.
Well, you weren't far off.
Yeah,
you were there for a longer film.
And then I got.
There's a
lot of free.
Any spit
alcohol?
Takes?
What, during the film?
No, just in like
I
spit
did a
takes
spit take
over.
when it passed the 20-minute mark and it hadn't stopped. I was like, it's still going.
Still going. Stop it.
I got a huge bag of popcorn and I ate all of it. I don't know if you're meant to eat.
No, not at a premiere.
I don't think you're meant to eat loads of popcorn
not at a film premiere. No, you're meant to not eat any popcorn at a film premiere. You can have a glass of alcohol.
Yeah.
You don't have popcorn.
Yeah.
Do you have butter? You had melted butter on that popcorn.
Well, probably, yeah. And a hot dog and nachos.
If you should have gone in with a hot dog. That is, with this guy who thinks it's a short film and he's got enough for a banquet. Britain is at war. The time...
It's civil war, isn't it?
Civil war.
This country has been split in two.
Like a tree.
This is
cut down too early by the axe that is...
Though we are a family, we've been broken into two and we've never felt more apart. And never has been shown more.
Can we glue us back together?
Only one can decide.
That is us, the British public.
Yeah. So it was Starmer versus Sunak, which...
Starmer versus Sunak.
I haven't watched a political debate.
There was a debate, by the way.
Yeah, it was a debate.
Terrible broadcasting.
Yeah.
Really bad.
It was bad, wasn't it?
Yeah, I hate it.
So I hadn't seen it for like 5 years, probably since the last one. The last one was Johnson Corbyn. That was like 5 years ago.
What's that? The last one? It was, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that was before. So we've never had a podcast.
We've worked this out.
We've never done a podcast during election time, even though there was a period where we had like 4.
We've done a radio show during 2 elections.
Maybe 3.
We didn't get asked to cover it for
and
the
Brexit
live.
as well thrown in there.
And Brexit thrown in, yeah.
But so it was a debate. I only managed to see 20, 25 minutes of it, but I got what I needed to.
Yeah.
It was a funny one because it was like, one, I feel maybe, is this the 2 biggest nerds who ever run for office?
Yeah, where Starmer looks a lot sexier.
He looks sexy, but he's like, I like it.
His voice is incredibly.
Just you think about like the shtick or the way they're presenting themselves. I feel like it's the nerd election more so than ever.
Right.
Like think about any other election.
A geek off.
Yeah, it's
Bojo's got sex appeal.
There's something going on.
Corbyn's a nerd, but he's not because he was like an anti-apartheid processor in South Africa.
He's a hippy dippy
allotment queen. He's also done some pretty hardcore shit in his day.
He's a mung bean eating. That's not a nerd.
Well, there was Theresa May, but who was she up against? Well, she's up against no one. But that was more leadership. Well, Theresa May is the biggest. pouring water over an orgy that you could have. The field of wheat thing.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Theresa May was a big old nerd, but she never ran against anyone other than for party leadership.
No, Corbyn.
Did she do Corbyn?
2017.
Well, then that was the last one then. No, because, and then it
was Corbyn Johnson. But Sunak
I've been trying to work this out for ages. We've had so many, I can't fucking remember.
Sunak, Starmer, Corbyn Johnson, Corbyn May.
Corbyn May, so Corbyn lost... No, I don't think that's right.
Yeah. But it felt like he won because he got so much better. He did so much better than people thought they would.
Corbyn.
May called a snap election because she wanted to double down on her majority. Snap queen. And then it backfired.
And it didn't go that well.
Yeah. So it felt like she lost,
post-Brexit.
even though she hadn't. Yeah.
Cameron resigns post-Brexit.
Yes.
May takes over after the leadership election.
Yeah.
Calls a snap election to solidify herself in the House, but loses a big
So
majority
there's two nerds
against Corbyn. Okay,
so,
I just need to get it in my head.
Yeah. And I guess I've seen American TV debates, and a lot of them been with Trump, but even I saw Obama ones, and it felt like it felt like this mediator was one of the biggest taskmasters I've ever seen.
I agree, and I was like, can you shut up?
Yeah.
But because
she'd taken it too far the other way. It always goes one way.
Exactly. And people have got fed up with the discourse because all it is people shouting over each other.
And it is a bit. It's sometimes ridiculous.
That's 100% true.
But she took it so far.
The Americans do it even worse. But it was like, when it was at any point where they were like...
Yes or no?
Actually,
yes or no?
There were some points where they would go... Hold on. There were points where he would go... One of them would talk over the other slightly. And be like, now, boys, now. I was like, let them argue a bit. Yeah. We want an argument. We don't want like... And then, they had to put their hands up at one point.
Yeah, it's nerds.
And it was like, to be fair, that was kind of a good idea to make them do a yes or no. That's kind of genius. Because if you want a yes or no question from a politician, say, put your hand up if you think this. Because if they don't put their hand up, then they'd have to talk through it.
It definitely was different to other
but I didn't like her cracking down on any kind of debate. I was like, no, we can have a bit of arguing.
Yeah.
That makes it a bit fun as well.
Yeah.
Because I think now that it went too far the other way in terms of politics as entertainment. You have Trump going insane and stuff, and
now it's like, how boring can we make it?
Exactly. Well, now it's like, and it went too far when it was like they can't talk over each other for a second, and people but the majority of people are going like. Most of the reaction has been, weren't those two just awful? And the mediator did a really good job. Weren't they just like shouting over each other?
No.
And I was like, they weren't shouting over each other that much.
She got a bit drunk on power.
Yeah, I was like, give her a second.
I think she wanted the spotlight a bit too much.
I don't think that's true.
Yeah.
But...
No, you do.
Yeah, I think that's true. People are bad.
And did they keep cutting to the disabled woman in the front row too many times?
Now, I kind of listened to it. So
okay, well, it's an unfortunate angle, which I guess is one of the crowd angles. So you'd have a woman, crangles, if you will. So obviously you'd have the disability spots be in the front row.
Yeah.
So there's a woman in a wheelchair.
Right, and you're saying less visibility for disabled people.
Well, the angle was a wide angle, low angle of the crowd. And I think they were using that as a crowd shot. But instead,
so she was very forthright in the shot.
She was in the middle of the shot.
Yeah.
And she took up 70% of the frame.
That's a lot, yeah.
And it kept cutting to her.
And was she kind of like looking
at
the camera?
But it's sort of implying that they were debating over her, or like she was the kingmaker.
Kind of doing the gladiator.
And I guess you want to keep cutting to the audience to kind of show
the reaction,
or like just show like and it just kept cutting to this one disabled woman as if that was like that's the battleground of this.
She's our chosen representative. She could have been like our class representative. No, I didn't see, but that does sound like it's exactly what happened.
It was funny to see a debate where they were arguing over so little. Like it was because the
future of Britain.
Well, it's like they're so similar policy-wise. Like Corbyn Johnson was so different ideologically. There was like at least some, but they were talking about like little details. Or no, actually, they were talking about who was effectively going to do the same plan. It felt like a party leadership debate. Do you know what I mean? It felt like it was more like I'm gonna do the same thing, but I'm gonna do it better.
Yeah, it wasn't that. You're right. There wasn't that much of an ideological difference.
And a lot they agreed on a lot of stuff, but it was like I'm going to do it, but you're not going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agreed. There was stuff. There was a lot about tax, and that's always the same left-right debate, you know. But then when it actually got down to it, when she made them raise their hands, like none of them were going to raise any tax.
Yeah.
So but then someone's like, "How are you going to pay for it?" Which is kind of like, that all sounds the same to me. Yeah. No, agreed. It wasn't. It didn't light the fire under me. It did. It did make me realise that Rishi Sunak has a really small head with big features. Like a lot of them, like his mouth is basically
like a seaside drawing.
Yeah.
Big ears.
Caricature.
Yeah, caricature.
Kind of. More like if I was to draw someone. You know, my
in
drawings.
A rush. Yeah.
No, not in a rush.
No,
I've taken my time. No, but there were a few moments. It was there were moments for Keir. I was like, okay, I do actually just prefer you. Full stop.
Yeah, but then people saying that Sunak won the debate.
Yeah, I don't agree. I don't think he did. Who fucking knows? I disagree with the Tories at this point. So
But everyone does. So I guess it was more
exactly.
like.
So yeah, but for me, Starmer got better points out. But
So you'd have Starmer win on points.
Yeah, I think I would from what I heard.
Not a knockout blow.
Not a knockout blow, but there was this big
split
squibble over about this £2,000 or something that was going on. Did you hear a bit of that?
Yes.
And Rishi was saying it's from the civil service, and Starmer was saying that's bollocks. The civil service came out and said that we didn't. That's not from us. So it was bollocks. So that's fun.
I mean,
anyway,
it was even for leadership debates. I guess it was incredibly boring.
It was a wet blanket.
Yeah.
But then I think the bar has been set so high in America that it's always going to be. Even Johnson Corbyn wasn't that good.
No.
Like that should have been fucking lit.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
Yeah. But it was.
It's like Zizek Peterson.
I guess part of me was like, all right, I'm going to be a citizen. I'm going to get back involved in
civic duty.
And then I was like, that's boring as fuck.
Yeah, I was like, give it a shot.
Yeah,
I'll watch all of them.
And then I put on hardcore pornography instead.
And that's on
the big screen.
How can you do more for our country than looking at a bit of hardcore porn? Boring. That's better. That sounds like a political cartoon. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's really what Britain's become.
Heavy-handed, yeah. That's the
apathy.
That's what kids under 30's attention spans are like nowadays. They can't watch the ITV debate because they're too busy watching hardcore pornography. Yeah. And it's not far off the truth.
Yeah. Do you have anything more to say about the election at this stage?
Not really. It's not the most. It's a pretty fucking boring one, isn't it?
It's really boring.
We know who's going to win.
Yeah.
Everyone wants him to win. It's not like there's divisions.
Yeah.
But like, everyone's jumping from the Tories.
Farage is on TikTok, and he's been doing. He's obviously got some Zoomer on there.
Well, have you seen? He's now running as the Reform leader.
Yeah.
So that's fun. He got milkshaked again.
And right, how did you feel about him getting milkshaked?
Honestly, nothing.
Now I do think. I don't like Farage, but I don't think you should be. I do think you got to clamp down on milkshaking.
Really?
Like a lot of people are like, yeah, and like sharing it, like, yeah. I don't know. I just don't know if.
No, I don't.
I don't think you should be allowed to milkshake. So she's being charged for assault, and I'm like,
no, it's not assault.
I think she should be like, there should be punishment. You can't just chuck a milkshake at people.
I know you can't just chuck a milkshake at people, but like it's actually, I think milkshake is pretty light. I think it would be worse to even chuck like Ribena at.
But if you're like. You can no longer do any sort of street politics or even meet people.
Of course you can.
Yeah.
But this isn't the first time Farage has been milkshaked.
Yeah, I know, but that's the problem, is it just keeps happening.
I don't think it's that big a deal. He has to change his clothes.
Yeah, I know, but
I completely support the milkshaking of Farage.
You think Farage should be milkshaked?
I didn't should is different to supporting someone's right to milkshake Farage.
Do you think people have a right to milkshake Farage?
And be punished, yeah. They should be punished very lightly. They should get a fine and get off easy. That's not assault.
I don't know. I think that's
if you do it repeatedly,
that sets a bad precedent.
It should be against the law to milkshake, but we're talking about a protest here. Of course, it's going to be against the law.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like, what's a good protest that's in the law, other than like a march that's scheduled? But like, if you're going to make a point, a lot of the time, you got to break the law.
But if it keeps happening to the same person.
Well, it happens to fascists. That's the whole thing. It happened to that guy in America and Tommy Robinson. If milkshaking fascists is a thing.
We're punching fascists.
Well, that was a different thing.
Yeah.
That's assault. That shouldn't be allowed.
Yeah.
Dependent.
Yeah.
Milkshaking Farage, absolutely. Well, it's Nigel Farage. He's an evil man.
Yeah.
Chuck some
I guess
fucking Oreo shake on him.
Yeah. I don't know.
I understand.
I feel it's a slippery slope. What next?
Well,
a froyo, like a Tango Ice Blast.
Yeah, I suppose it's pretty chunky.
It's cold.
Well, that's where we draw the line.
Yeah.
I kind
it's
of,
expensive.
I agree with you in that it shouldn't be allowed, but like, of course it shouldn't. But I don't care that it happened.
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't care at all that it happened.
I guess so. I guess I have that.
It doesn't inspire me, nor does it make me hate it.
I get like weird empathy for small things, like just
like getting milkshaked.
Yeah, just
it's better for Horatio. It puts him in the news.
I guess so.
100%. It's like it really doesn't. She was an OnlyFans model. I think it's just
change. Like, what if that was one of his favourite suits? I get weird.
A milkshake would come off in a dry clean. You get that published in a dry cleaner soon. That's off. You're fine. You know, she's an OnlyFans model as well. It's all a publicity stunt. Nothing means anything anymore. Yeah. It's good for Farage. It's good for her. They get their time in the 24-hour news cycle, and fascism lives on.
I will tag her profile in the bio.
Yep, just in case anyone wants to subscribe. Weird end to the show. But we'll see you next week. Time.